reflecting unusually elevated levels of disgruntlement.
No downtime! We shouldn't pay for Adrena time! If you won't let us sleep for 8, you can't charge us for stimulates!
Keep the chanting going! I can see the overseer up in her office.
Schedule an
We're
appointment.
definitely
We need to
making
talk.
her
Workers are too rowdy. Door stays shut for now.
If that blockade had been staffed by staunch Protectorate defenders, we never would have been able to overcome it. Truly a sorry defense.
Others get the exact same pay, but only work 12-hour days! We don't want to make demands, but no more being in bottles and cans!
Whatever it is you're after, go looking for it somewhere else.
Yes? The whole reason we set up here is to avoid customers. Is there something you need? See that repackaging facility down there? We're supposed to be working it, slaving away for a few meager bits that we then gotta use to pay for our own necessities. They work us like cysty pigs, charge us for the stems we need to yoke those hours, and don't let us relieve ourselves but in empty fizzy tea bottles we keep beneath our stations. So, we're making trouble until that changes. Until we get some respect. Until the privy is left open all day. Can't imagine what. Ain't like you could fix all of Auntie's choices hierarchy by your own self. I don't think you could even change this one dumpish overseer ruining our lives. Now, if you'll excuse me. Yes? The whole reason we said... Well, then, now, if...
Talk is cheap, but my time is not.
Sorry. Time is bits. Bits is time. Or are, that is.
Don't you see him on the clock here?
Reeks of corporatist in here. Or perhaps a sprat has perished elsewhere in the vents.
No more bottles on factory floors! Time for unlocked bathroom!
Always thieving. My records show you have an outstanding fine for past offenses. Pay up or face Auntie's justice. I'm listening. Funny you should say that. Pleasure to...
Off for a week? Can't believe what I'm losing on a Dreamtime and Antifizzo's Numrum.
hypothesizing. The labor supervisor's missive may not alleviate worker disgruntlement.
Welcome to Auntie's Fine Product Revitalization Center, where we create tomorrow's brands today. I assume you are the disruption ameliorator from home office? It was about damn time you got here. This labor stoppage has put us almost a full week behind schedule and is making me look quite the fool. Some ne'er-do-wells have incited our workers to halt all work. They've taken to making demands and carrying on about basic dignity and human rights. It should go without saying that such flights of fantasy have no place inside Auntie's Choice, and if we were still in Tau Ceti, they would face grave consequences. Nevertheless, here we must focus on getting these ingrates back to work, and remind them that they're damn lucky to have Auntie's Choice to dedicate their lives to. Absolutely. These lugs have been positively exalted in the good fortune of rising to their limited station within the meritocracy that Auntie has derived for us. Why? Can you imagine suffering under the yoke of a sovereign's rule, or floundering at the ridiculous direction of those claiming to know the future by way of math? No. Only within Auntie's Choice can these drudges achieve genuine prominence. If they exhibit excessive dedication, they may even earn some modicum of the success I have enjoyed. You're asking me? That clearly is your domain. Running this invaluable facility on Auntie's behalf is mine. As a managerial administrativist, and when I say I, it is critical that you understand that as director of this facility, I should effectively be treated as though I were an executive. Is that clear? Well, there's no call for rudeness. It's unnecessary, unprofessional, and distracts us from the important business that I have the direct authority to dispatch you upon. This plant relabels dated items with new Auntie's Choice trademarks and slogans. It is critical to keeping revitalized products on the shelf for consumers hungry for something new. So, the workers may be unhappy, but they must realize their comfort is a distant second to Auntie's delivery schedule. Or in short, they need to get back to work. My workers are striking people now? How very alarming. We must resolve this before things get even further out of hand. They've appointed some kind of leader, and he's the one you have to talk to. His name is, Dummy? No, that's not right. Dunce? Dummer? Dumley? Dunbar. It's Dunbar. If I'm honest, my gaze is purely focused up the ladder, not down it. I am a very important upper, middle, lower manager, and the way I advance that status scantily involves learning the names and faces of my peons. Their value is in providing their minuscule contribution to this mighty and prestigious corporation. And by providing their maximal effort, they allow me to ascend, vacating this position so that one of their undistinguished masses can fill it, thereby becoming distinguished. I believe he has demands, but I can't be bothered to remember what they were. They alter the generous terms Auntie offers, and so are egregious and should be rejected. You will find him up on the landing pad with some of his minions. Go help him understand the situation so everyone can get back to work. That clear? Best of luck to you. Remember that your actions don't just reflect on you. You are also representing me. Do us proud. the chanting going! I can see the overseer
We
up in
don't
her
want
office!
to make
And we're
demands,
definitely
but
making
no
her
more
miserable!
being in bottles and... bottles in hands!
That's right, folks! Keep the chanting going! I can see
If
the
you
overseer
won't let
up in
us
her
sleep
office,
for
and
eight,
we're
you
definitely
can't
making
charge
her
us for
miserable!
stimulates! No more others get the exact same pay, but only work 12-hour days! We don't want to make demands, but no more being...
I suspect there is... Speak freely.
No more bottles on factory floors! Time for unlocked bathroom doors! If you won't let us sleep for
That's
eight,
right, folks!
you can't
Keep the
charge
chanting
us for
going. I can
stimulates!
see the overseer up in her office, and we're definitely making her miserable!
Others get the exact same pay, but only work 12-hour days!
I ain't aiming to seem rude, but I got a lot to deal with right now. Unless this is mighty important, I'll respectfully ask to be... Settle my complaints? How exactly you planning that? Auntie's got to prioritize worker prosperity over productivity. What we've got now is, poor... labor retention techniques? What's going on is... remind me again?
An inhospitable occupational environment that ignores worker safety and health concerns.
Right. That. Right. Exactly. The conditions under which Auntie extracts our labor is, unacceptable. They're egregious, even.
They work 20-hour shifts, which require stims to endure that are charged at a premium. Adrena time is actually cheaper on the undisputed claim than it is here. And if that inhuman brutality isn't enough to offend basic decency, they're also barred from using the restroom throughout the business day. Their 20-hour business day. It is an unconscionable condition to keep these workers in. I can't imagine how hard it is for them to coordinate their daily duties.
It has been incredibly difficult. And very, very messy. And finally, we realized we'd had enough. Our shifts need to be reduced to 12 hours a day. 4 hours of personal time ain't even enough to rest, much less get any actual living done. Second, if we gotta work those long hours, we want free Adrena time. Bad enough it's making everything taste like we're gnawing nickel pads. Having to pay for the pleasure's too far. Finally, we want all-day bathroom access. Expecting us to fit our necessities into the same 4 hours is just mean. Plus, between us, most folk ain't, if you get my meaning. Look around at all those folks in armor. We're ready for a fight. So, you can either take our demands to Griggs, or face all this muscle. Your choice.
Welcome back, Ameliorator. Did you make contact with workers? Do they understand that this stoppage is madness? Are they ready to return? So, what are these ingrate alley sprats willing to settle for? Golden privies and gilded sheets to be spoon-fed crunch whenever their tummies rumble? 8-hour workdays? 12-hour? Are they mad? What are they gonna do with the other half of the day? Lounge around the facility consuming air and water and power without compensating the company? I am, frankly, disappointed you would even bring me such a preposterous demand. You should have nipped this offensive arrogance in the bud. I suppose that's true. It wouldn't take much to put enough pep in their proverbial step to make up for 2 lost hours. Their overall productivity might even improve. That would translate into more profit for the plant, which means larger bonuses for me, which should be more than enough to make up for the drop in hourly production. All right, you've convinced me. What else do they want? Free? Free? Nothing inside of Auntie's Choice is free. Law, nothing in life is free. Everything has a cost. Everything. Materials, labor, time, distribution, forced scarcity. Giving something away for free is akin to ignoring the cost of its creation, which is one small step from the system completely breaking down and plunging us all into anarchy. What in the void are you talking about? My greed is certainly doing no such thing. What? No! I would never! That's slander. And or libel. And you can't prove a thing. Well, fuck. That's quite the rub, isn't it? All right, what do you want? Huh. I don't know why you would waste leverage on them, but I suppose you've got your reasons. All right. They'll get their Adrena time, and you'll get all the bits I got on me. Is there more they ask? They want to relieve themselves on company time? I've never heard something so preposterous. Can you imagine how many bits that loss of productivity will cost us? What if they lounge? What if they take time to relax? What if they retreat to indulge their baser urges? Auntie would be paying for all manner of unprofitable shenanigans. Somewhere? Oh, that actually explains the odor in storage room 3. I never imagined they might be... I'll get the door unlocked immediately, and cleaning crews dispatched. What more do they want? Very good. Ha! I was going to say very good, but that would be downright farcical. There is nothing good about this situation. Please, just resolve it as quickly as possible.
With no rest and no downtime, we shouldn't pay for Adrena time!
Hello again. Do you have news for us about the negotiations? That's as fine a place to start as any. What did that tyrant have to say for herself? Is she willing to see reason? Well, I can't begin to tell you what a relief that is. By which I mean, that's great news. It'll be such a load off. A most promising development. How go the other hurdles of the negotiation? She willing to see reason? Free? Really? Why, I'd surely have lost that bet. I figured we'd ask for free and settle for wholesale. You're a miracle worker. What's next? Excellent. What progress have you made? Well, that certainly is disappointing. But I suppose we'll manage. An extra 2 hours off a day will make life a little easier, at least. Well, you have done exceptionally well by us, my new friend. With these new conditions, we'll return to work with vigor rather than dread. Thank you.
Damn! I really felt like I was close to signing all of you, and I needed that recruitment bonus. I don't know how I'm going to afford my hair creme now, but I'll get him next time. And he won't always have you working her angles for her. And her usual agents don't stand a chance against me.
Next time? Against you? What in law's name are you saying? Sometimes you talk so odd it don't sound like you're Auntie's choice at all. It don't matter. All that matters is my working conditions have just improved mightily. Thanks to you, stranger. Now, if you'll excuse us, we're gonna get back to work.
I suppose that is well enough. But this negotiation would have been much more succinct if one party had simply inflicted grievous bodily harm upon the other.
The workers have returned and production has resumed. Wonderful work, our disruption ameliorator. I do wish it had gone more smoothly, but I understand you did what you must. I have already informed the Home Office, and with it, put in an extra sprinkling of mild praise directly with Auntie. She will, no doubt, be excited to learn of my approval. You may tell the executives that dispatched you that you have done an adequate job. Under my keen supervision, of course.
Exclusively at the bottom runner. We put the stock.
Welcome back. We understand you've been a very busy little manty-wasp. Well, out with it.
Yes, time is bits. Tell us how it went.
A satisfactory effort, my ameliorator. I had hopes your talents would yield a result a mite more in our favor, but good work overall.
Well, I suppose I can't argue with the truth of that.
Anything else you'd like to report? Your performance at that facility went exceedingly well, all things considered, and it was an ideal first step in effecting my monopolistic mercantile methodology plan.
There you go again, pinning your career to that flim-flam mathematical malarkey. What do a bunch of eggheads know about marketing? Marketing isn't some rigmarole you can plug into a computronic doodad. It's instinct, intuition, know-how. It's a fucking art.
Yes, suppose we should move on. Ursula, will you do the honors?
I'm the head of our proprietary insight acquisition division. Stealing our rivals' trade secrets? That's our bread and butter. We can sometimes lack a certain subtlety, though. The Protectorate have a process called mental refreshment. Some kind of mind manipulation business. There's a facility for it on Praetor. Auntie wants details on their methodology, pharmacology, and technology. This archive plan says it's important? Fine. Auntie and I agree it presents possibilities. Attitude like that will take you far around here. A few aspirational goals, if possible. If you see a chance to talk their lead scientist into joining us, and/or dig up additional details about the process, do so.
Which is to say, we'll make it more worth your while. I promise you'll never want for compensation while in our employ.
See you when it's done.
Remember, commercialism is the foundation that Auntie's Choice Society is based upon. Not because we worship bits, but because of the system's glorious efficacy. While the Protectorate decide what its subjects get, we respond to what you want through your decisions as consumers. What's more, we skip the frivolously lengthy approval process our overbearing neighbors employ. Why wait 20 years to bring a new product to market when it can be enhancing people's lives now? As a responsible member of society, we allow you to take part in public product testing, respecting your right to risk a few pesky side effects as an early adopter. At Auntie's Choice, we understand that the marketplace is dynamic, efficient, and well-suited to the shifting needs of our populace. After all, that's what unbridled freedom's all about.
I doubt the denizens of Laplace's garden will take my change of heart with Protectorate law at face value. Maybe best to leave me.
Heard that rip. Halt! The Oracle Laureate sent ahead to expect someone matching your description. However, he said nothing about admitting questionable allies. Protectorate are not permitted inside Laplace's garden. Your companion will have to wait outside.
Who are you? Claiming to deny me ingress. The Protectorate's arbiters go wheresoever they deign.
Someone should have informed you, Arbiter. Cloister is not the domain of the Protectorate any longer.
I'm... what? Emotional support? You know, that has a nicer ring to it than I'd have surmised. I've never been emotional support before.
As likely as I find that theory, we have rules and regulations for a reason. We are at war, you might have noticed. The Oracle Laureate is our foremost seer, excluding the presiding bishop herself. He oversees the Department of Predictive Analysis, and in so doing keeps the Order on course. Indubitably, Laureate Beckett said to accommodate you as best as possible, but rules are rules. Is this some kind of test? No participants or observants are permitted to discuss Laplace's garden outside its boundaries. You'll discover all you need once inside. After ridding yourself of your problematic auxiliary, of course. Was there ambiguity in my previous warning? This is your last warning. If you attempt to gain entry with potential troublemakers in tow, we will have no choice but to fire upon them. And you!
Broadly and speak freely. Understood.
Agent, I have a message for you.
Detecting higher than normal humidity with trace amounts of organic material non-native to Cloister.
I'm cutting you off there, Charles. Welcome to the CAF integration point. Will it be caffeine or convictions today? Strength? Good choice. Here you are. I haven't spied you around before. New project appointment? Must be an adjustment. I'd have run the mugs through the autoclave twice if I'd known the garden was receiving... All right, your turn. What questions have... Laplace's garden is a glimpse into Arcadia's future, should the Order achieve victory in this conflict. Such an outcome, however, remains to be determined. Not at all. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have complete faith in the plan, would I? Consider the garden a proof of concept. Here we have an ideal society where everyone contributes to the plan without any threat of distraction. In theory. Kind of you to say, but I merely prioritize salience over eloquence. Too many in the Order forget how to be people while they're pursuing godhood. More than happy to oblige. You know, I might right this way.
Agent, over here.
No admittance without the Artificer Laureate's permission.
Your admittance to the Chamber of Conflict Evaluation and Strategic Planning may come at a later date, as determined by the Office of the Oracle Laureate.
Please direct any inquiries to the presiding bishop is not accepting visitors at this time.
A visitor? It's for the best that you're talking to me now instead of mid-work. I do seem to have a slight propensity for stabbing randomly with my tools when interrupted, but I suppose that's enough time spinning in the statements column. Speak away. The Order has myriad matters of extreme significance to attend to. Their priority is decided by the presiding bishop. She's the most important individual in Arcadia, after all. Not if I cannot gauge for certain if you can be trusted. I cannot allow just anyone to wander into Ruth's quarters. But there is something you could do to prove yourself worthy. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton, which is a nearby site of historical but not strategic significance. I want them gone. Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there. I'll withhold my appreciation until this task is complete.
May you act within the equation's confines.
Informing the cultist Azza would be prudent prior to slaughtering her former associates.
I always find I work best when now. How might we be of use to one another? I scarcely take time to engage in idle conversation, but perhaps this will be illuminating in some fashion. Specifically, a phlogistinated firearm, capable of tunneling through reinforced armor. Broadly, weaponry, research, anything capable of giving our exemplars an edge. Great. I was just thinking, I'd love for a stranger to come along and patronize me so I could blindly hand them experimental order technology. I have nothing but respect for Ruth. Without her guidance, the Order may never have found the strength to dissolve its protectorate bonds. If I had to dig for the smallest critique, I'd note that she shoulders too much. If she collapses beneath the strain, the Order will be rudderless. This we cannot afford. I generally prefer to keep discussions relevant.
Smart researchers patronize the scientician's surplus. Quality goods at algorithmically determined prices.
Emergency Protocol 7 is primed. Maintaining your battlefield. Approaching a rift is not advised until a means of closing rifts is attained. This unit helpfully reminds the commander that one such device is rumored to be on Praetor.
You there! You need to leave. This is a holy site. No, did you not hear me? You must leave unless you wish to be ushered into perfection before the rest of this architect-forsaken colony. Oh, I'm not accustomed to hearing such. We're usually dismissed as, well, we need not discuss that. But in regards to your entering Newton, that's just not possible. It is blocked by a rift. As I said, the only way to get inside is to offer yourself up to the rift. By being thrown into it, that is. No, we're not unthinking fools swayed by superstition. Our beliefs are scientifically proven by the esteemed leader themselves, who is infallible. Obviously, this is a wondrous time, friend. Our name was not chosen at random. It is a glorious dawn for all humankind. The rifts are a means to achieve a perfect state of being. And they are once again active after laying relatively dormant for years. The end of our tortured existence is nigh. That's a scientific impossibility, but if such a thing were possible, I'd surely like to see it. What I mean is, the rifts are an inviolate part of the architect's plan. How dare you try to circumnavigate my authority? What is it this time? You're trying my goodwill. I don't care what your boorish and uneducated opinion is. The bridge is blocked by a rift. You can only enter to offer yourself to the rift by being thrown into it.
Alert. Hostile. Confronting threat. Agent's health remains. Commander's vital stats have reached an alarming low. This unit is concerned for available at your request. Standing by with life support. Providing a host.
Maintaining your battlefield stamina.
I'm coming for you!
Health benefits available at your request.
Hostiles detected ahead. Recommended course of action. Violence.
Standing by with life support. Emergency protocol syringes primed. Entering a confrontational state.
Potential combatant in the vicinity.
Let's pinpoint what you and I can accomplish for the Order. I shall allow myself a moment of relief. Moment passed. I'd hoped killing the cultists was its own reward. You've proven yourself well, but we have recently experienced a pivotally important, unforeseen development. One I must meet directly. Can I count on you? One of the satellites comprising the Hyperion web was struck by a wayward craft and crashed on Paradise Island. I need someone to recover an informational component from it. I hope your zeal is properly placed. The Protectorate soldiers guarding the crash site are unlikely to let you close, unless something else is made to arrest their attention. I cannot say how that might be accomplished, unfortunately. Some of our scholars find answers to their solutions at the CAF integration point. Perhaps you might do the same. Collect the data from the crashed site and return it here. May the odds prevail against your bloody demise.
Society demands perfect balance. Imperfection is impossible when the mind
Potential
is a thing of
combatant
symmetry.
in the vicinity.
It is the duty of every Protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times.
Emergency protocol syringes primed.
I look forward to the reclamation of the Hyperion web. Now, how might we be of use to one another? Yes! Excellent! Take that, reductionists! Your horrid little surveillance devices shall finally be used for what their purpose should have been! Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. Yes, you've earned not only my trust, but the Order's as well. I hope you'll continue working with us in the future. I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. She can be found in the room off the main stairwell. I'm sure I don't need to say this. But if you even think about bringing harm to Ruth, I shall know. Be on your very, very best behavior.
Ah, there you are. I was informed by Gertie you've agreed to help us reconvene negotiations. With your aid, Auntie's choice and the Order will soon be rivals no longer. Just think of all we can accomplish if our two sides reject fractiousness and combine our efforts. Remember, seek out ways to help both sides. Engender trust. Gertie and I will let you know when it's time to move forward. In the meantime, I might recommend you work on honing your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo can be challenging to debate with.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. Prudent. Now then, I gather you already know who I am, but science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. I admit, when I sent my initial message, I did not exactly know who its recipient would be. But I trusted the plan, and lo and behold, it provided you as the solution. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. Yes, by all reports it was. But the plan evidently has greater outcomes prepared for Vicar Levin. He is, at that. I consider him a close personal friend, and I cannot say that about many. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. It's recently come to my attention that secret communications have been exchanged between Laplace's garden and the undisputed claim. Do you know anything about that? I should have known. Vicar Levin has made this appeal to me at least thrice since his return. He really cannot accept a solution he did not devise. Were it so easy, delegates would not have been required prior to now. Don't feel ashamed. Not even my own laureates can move me on certain matters. I will speak with Levin and tell him to cease all transmissions with the undisputed claim immediately. The Order does not require a corporation's help to win this war. But now, let us move on from this discussion. The Archive remains at the forefront of my mind.
I look forward to the reclamation of the Hyperion web. Hopefully you shall. Now, how might we be of use to one another? Yes! Excellent! Take that, reductionists! Your horrid little surveillance devices shall finally be used for what their purpose. Don't tell anyone about that outburst, please. Here's something to keep you quiet. Yes, you've earned not only my trust, but the Order's as well. I hope you'll continue working with us in the future. I've informed the presiding bishop you're coming to speak with her. She can be found in the room off the main stairwell. I'm sure I don't need to say this. But if you even think about bringing harm to Ruth, I shall know. Be on your very, very best behavior.
Ah, there you are. I was informed by Gertie you've agreed to help us reconvene negotiations. With your aid, Auntie's Choice and the Order will soon be rivals no longer. Just think of all we can accomplish if our remember, seek out ways to help both sides. Engender trust. Gertie and I will let you know when it's time to move forward. In the meantime, I might recommend you work on honing your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo can be challenging to debate with.
The Order has always proclaimed patience as a virtue, but I am pleased my waiting is finally at its endpoint. For so long, you have only existed as numerical values on a chart. A bright star in a constellation of possibilities, as it were. Now with your arrival, the Order nears the totality of its goals, provided you are willing to stay aligned with our cause. Prudent. Now then, I gather you already know who I am. But science has shown that good manners strengthen developing relationships by 5.3%. So, allow me to introduce myself. I am Ruth Bassar, third presiding bishop of the Order of the Ascendant, supreme calculator, and, plan willing, the architect of Arcadia's prosperous future. I admit, when I sent my initial message, I did not exactly know who its recipient would be. But I trusted the plan, and lo and behold, it provided you as the solution. Your recent exploits at Greater Tranquility Station have certainly made for compelling reading material. Confronting an assassin, and thereby sparing the delegates' lives before the rift inexplicably destroyed the station? Such a commendable effort is worthy of acknowledgement. Sorry to disappoint. However, there's something of even greater import we must discuss. It's recently come to my attention that secret communications have been exchanged between Laplace's garden and the undisputed claim. Do you know anything about that? I should have known. Vicar Levin has made this appeal to me at least thrice since his return. He really cannot accept a solution he did not devise. Wise enough to recognize the perils, too. But the right course often involves remaining open to new possibilities. I will put the question to you one final time. Are you certain you would rather pursue this path than work exclusively with the Order? There will be no future option to reconsider. Then I will endeavor to bring that vision to fruition, if the plan wills it. A true in-person meeting between myself and Auntie could never take place due to the security risks. But perhaps a remote conference could be a viable alternative. The odds of you persuading Auntie Cleo to agree are unfavorable. But the math does improve if you have greater standing within her corporation. Once you have met with Auntie, instruct her to send me a communique. We can finesse the details of a conference then. My time is yours, for the moment. Oh, the Laureate Council simply draws a name out of a hat. No? Go figure. In reality, I was recommended for my position by the preceding bishop. Paired with my skills as a seer, I was the natural choice when it came time for the council to vote. Thank you for that charitable assessment. My predecessor, presiding Bishop Orlo, and I had a close working relationship. He knew I possessed the skills and temperament for the role. I counted him a friend. Orlo shared with me his doubts about the Order's partnership with the Protectorate. The compromise is made. He had many such regrets at the end of his life. Likely not. But it is the responsibility of every student to surpass their mentor in understanding and sentiment. And I can reliably assert that I have done that. Call it proof of concept. Laplace's garden is more than its aesthetic. It offers a vision of a future free from the despotic rule of narrow-minded jingoists, where the fruit of the plan can finally ripen. It saddens me to see the garden so despoiled by our wartime presence. But with the loss of Spirton, necessity dictated we quarter here in the interim. May you achieve progress in accordance with the plan.
Failed to cite her work completely. I worked with presiding Bishop Orlo, you know. Now there was a serious scientician.
time, Commander!
Health benefits available at your request.
You can't fight! Ready to waste on your command.
Restorative cocktail to abrade my imperfections.
Enter your belt. I'm locked and stuck.
Aging combat protocols.
Seek treatment.
Give the word and I'll take care of him, Commander.
Have you considered that submitting... Greetings, could you help us settle a matter? We've set out for mental refreshment, but upon reflection, the resources needed for it are a luxury we should forego due to the war.
If you're doubting that you need refreshment, I can request a specialized third-person observation for you just to make sure. Those professional observers are quite thorough.
Of course, I'm being overly concerned about preserving resources. It is just medical attention, and the Protectorate always provides the very best. Once we've finished our rest, we'll continue on our way to refreshment. Good day, stranger.
mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
What was...
Got some bad cover.
Giving chase.
Enthusiastically neutralizing info phase. Standing by with life support.
Don't make me bury another agent!
Ready to assist agent's alchemy. Fortifying teammate.
About to reload.
Restoring the balance! Quarry found! Let's go now! Come right in, and be refreshed.
It is the duty of every Protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is so important.
Realign with the paradigm, to shed all manner of imperfect thoughts. All it takes is some light instruction, a restorative cocktail, and a quick dip into the lathe of particularity to abrade your imperfections. I'm head refresher Ghoul, and I guarantee when you exit our door, you'll be a productive member of our perfect society again. Soon you'll say, goodbye, imperfect thoughts. Hello, contentment.
Just like being back on smoke extraction detail at the shipyards. Lord.
Greetings, subject. Or should I say, refreshed to be. Welcome to the Wellnetarium. You're not on my schedule. A walk-in, then. Wonderful. Once you're properly evaluated, we'll have you well on your way to refreshment.
Right. That's why we're here. Got some thoughts we need rinsed. Washed. Deloused?
Oh, you appear to have questions. A telltale sign of needing refreshment. Why, of course. Naturally. It is the duty of every subject to submit for a quick mental tune-up whenever we experience imperfect thoughts or lack a little zeal. Placid Waters Wellnetarium is the primary mental refreshment facility on Praetor. We are tasked with ensuring local subjects are serene, untroubled, and operating at peak efficacy. Right as rain, neighbor. Right as rain. And soon you'll be just like me. Our intake evaluation automech here simply needs to ask you a few questions to amply delineate your phenometric matrix. A baseline understanding of your character and background will assist our facilitators in determining the ideal regimen necessary to abrade any perceived personality irregularities. Simply step over to my automechanical colleague to my left, / your right, and it will begin your assessment.
Greeting, subject unscheduled. Welcome to Placid Waters Welditarium. Evaluation commencing. Subjects are required to respond 100% accurately to all queries. Bespoke prescribed regimens may produce untoward ramifications if baseline data is greater than minutely erroneous. Query 1. Concisely characterize your personal perspective. Incorrect. The accepted answer is, I fulfill my duty to the Sovereign as a loyal Protectorate subject by operating at peak efficacy, without error, perpetually. Each a vital cog. Query 2. Rate your present level of zealous efficaciousness on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being the highest, 3 being a traitor, 1 being dead. Incorrect. Wait, processing. That was correct. No subject has ever answered that query accurately before to date. The degree of zealous efficaciousness expected of a dutiful and true subject of the Protectorate is beyond measure. Query 3. Do you ever fall prey to imperfect thoughts, including, but not limited to, doubt, disbelief, uncertainty, curiosity, recalcitrance, and mischief? Unacceptable. A perfect society demands perfect thoughts. Imperfection is impossible when the mind is a thing of symmetry. Final query. How would your neighbors describe you? Processing determination. An acceptable response. The appropriate reply was, they never questioned, never doubted. Their zeal never lagged. Formulating conclusion. Phrenometric matrix delineated. Subject evaluation score total 150 out of 200. The acceptable amount for a true and dutiful Protectorate subject is 0. In conclusion, you are in dire need of mental refreshment. Now, proceed to the nearby pneumatic tube to collect your complimentary unitard and lift pass. Next, proceed 1 floor down, where you will be directed further. Your realignment with the paradigm begins now.
Placid Waters Welditarium here on Crater is uniquely special.
It is personally overseen by Head Refresher Gould, the top cognitive divisor responsible for making the mental refreshment process more refreshing than ever.
This unit reminds you that mental refreshment is not an Earth Directorate approved medical procedure.
team plays the worst. Anyone has Oh, you're new. Must be. You still retain that look of inquiry and deliberation. I'm Waylon. I once felt the same way. Others too. One even dug a tunnel. Staff didn't like that. They abraded that subject's phrenometric peak something good. Wait, I just blinked several times, didn't I? What did that signify? I couldn't leave. Not yet. Haven't completed my regimen. My phrenometric peaks are still jutting all over the place, they say. Are you in disguise? I don't recognize so-and-so as a title. This feels a bit curious to me, but I feel compelled not to question it too much. Maybe the treatment is working. I'd go with you, I guess. But I need something first. They took all my things when I arrived. Stored them in storage. My commemorative pitch balls in there. From my favorite team, the Paradigm Abiders. Can't leave without it. I had to turn in my personal items when I was admitted. On account I tried to leave once or twice before. Saw them put it in a closet behind reception upstairs. Suppose so. Maybe almost, at least. One way out's the safest. Someone dug a tunnel in the kitchen pantry, though there are 2 automechs assigned there now, to keep subjects from wandering in and ambling off. Oh, well, mech controls are typically handled via a terminal. Probably one upstairs, but we're not allowed up there. Maybe you can find a way, though. I'll be dithering about here in the meanwhile. Oh, hello!
Medicament dispensement has concluded for today. Please proceed to the lecture hall to request an exception.
Imperfection is impossible when the mind is a thing of perfect symmetry.
Settle down, everyone. Lecture's playing. Prepare to be edified.
For today's topic, we'll touch on why our program is so very important. Ignorant, misguided outsiders may wonder, why does the Protectorate need mental refreshment? Doesn't it inhibit personal freedom? Yet this freedom they celebrate is a yawning chaos, and their choice is an invitation to failure, loss, and anarchy. It is a sad fact that all human beings require direction. As my good friend the Consul would say, at its base, humanity unguided is cravenly, inept, and slothful. We of the Protectorate are not, because we do not allow ourselves to be. The paradigm charts our course, gives us purpose. The Consul is the firm hand that guides us. Mental refreshment keeps us on task, free from doubt, efficient, perfect. And thus we enjoy amity, luxury, and resplendence. The system provides, the system abides.
Multiple inaccuracies, lies, and outright fabrications were contained within this lecture. It would be...
Oh, a new face. Well, I'd welcome you to the Wellnetarium, but the designated subject reader ought to have attended to that by now. Admitting you question is the first step in your recovery. But worry not. Soon enough, with our help and a little work, you'll never question again. You've missed the daily medicament dispensement, if that's what you mean. But you should take that up with the medicament dispensement automech directly. The medicament dispensement automech automechanically dispenses medicaments. 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 I see you found the lecture as edifying as all the others here. Good, good. Collective cognitive compliance is a key part of the prescribed curative regimen. Head Refresher Gould provides us with daily lectures in audio cartridge form to steer group thinking. As they say, to think together is to together thrive. Upstairs in the audiovisual aids office, of course. Though that area is off limits to all subjects not a part of facility staff or security. You must mean the lathe of particularity. One assumes you haven't had a session with Head Refresher Gould yet. You'll soon learn all about it firsthand. How very interesting. Here, take my pass then. It grants access to all mid-privilege priority areas. You'll feel ever so much better once your phreноmetric peaks have been abraded.
That could have gone worse.
Curiosity, interest, and concern not detected. Conclusion. The mental refreshment process appears to severely limit cognitive functions.
Of every Protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. The paradigm requires it. That's why mental refreshment is
increases tractability, stifles undue agitation, stymies untoward inclinations, and refashions the mind into a thing of symmetry. And others are not.
We reject individualism in all its many forms.
Danger. Stranger ahead.
Got eyes on some no good.
Hey, what's that sound? Why does the wall look so soft all of them?
Do I detect a whiff of reprioritin gas? You know, I suddenly feel a mite more pliable somehow. Surely nothing to question. I thought no one was due for peak abradement for hours. I should have your chart. Wait. Wait. Ha! You're not a Protectorate subject at all. You have the telltale look of wonder and introspection.
Frequent exposure to reprioritin gas may result in increases in tolerance and gullibility.
Well, this is normally where you'd say something. Oh, how outrageous. Suppose I should call the guards, but my... Oh dear, I seem to be a little unstable at the moment. But never fear, I have intellect to spare. Don't believe me? I can prove it. Even in a state such as this, I am more than able to apply my argumentative skills against the inferior minds and bankrupt philosophies of our rivals. To what end are you here? Tell me truly. Speak plainly. You know, I'm beginning to have an inkling about your purpose here, and whose employ you're under. A proposal. Adequately debate me on the merits and failings of each group's ideology, and I'll provide you what you're here for. Yes, well, you'll see, even in a nominally reduced state, I am more than up to the task. So, what of the Order, our former allies, those cursed overthinkers, doomed to lives free of luxury, toiling away in ceaseless cogitation? What say you of them? My position is a burden gladly taken to ease the suffering of our subjects. I think so they don't have to ensure the paradigm runs ably. Their order is chaos to us. Though your point, while gratingly expressed, is noted, albeit grudgingly. What say you about Auntie's choice, then? Tell me, is there any value in the vapid emptiness of those corporate consumerists? That actually sounds to have some slight merit when you put it that way. I mean, such a system would leave behind the general public, though. All our friends and neighbors. Your point is not completely without worth, I suppose. Only mostly. In the Protectorate, we have the best of everything. Food, technology, a sense of belonging, freedom from doubt, worry, hard work. No, the others simply cannot compare. Not word for word, no. I do take certain liberties with the Sovereign's Handbook, a beacon to the cosmos, to inhabit the spirit of the work and give it a dramatic, scientific air. I understand you meant that as an insult, but I refuse to be baited by those either jealous or ignorant of our ways. As it is right now, repelling faulty logic and wrong-headed thinking with gusto. No, the refreshment process isn't about thwarting examination, but obviating fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's about making people happy. Well, you've raised some interesting points, I suppose. Any other clever assertions you'd like to put forward before I fully evaluate your performance here? How very nice of you to say. You're not half bad yourself. Taken as a whole, that was the most engaging conversation I've had in, well, couldn't even say. Yes, it's true. I am thoroughly disturbed by how much you made me question many long-held beliefs. But frankly, that was quite invigorating. Now, what next? Really? That's exceptionally flattering, and something I never would have considered before our belief-shaking conversation. But honestly, I do deserve it, don't I? Might I ask for a few additional particulars? For instance, what is the title of the role? My, that sounds wonderful. I shall head there straight away. Thank you so much for making this opportunity happen.
Wait. I was led to believe my case required minimal treatment. But that last session...
Don't doubt. Let your betters think for you.
Appreciate if you cleared up.
In need of
care of him, Commander.
Medicament dispensement has concluded for today. Please proceed to the lecture hall to request an exception.
Hello! You find my pitch ball? Upstairs, in a closet behind reception. Last time I saw it, at least.
Not friendly life form detected.
It is the duty of every Protectorate subject to ensure they are operating at peak efficiency at all times. Prudence dictates, eye your neighbors carefully.
Enthusiastically neutralizing unfriendly
Influences!
Standing by with life support. Providing a host.
Ready to waste it. On your command.
Fortifying team. Entering a confrontational state.
belt. I'm locked and stopped.
Medicament dispensable.
Hello! You find my pitch ball? Oh, commemorative pitch ball! I missed you. Suppose I'm ready to leave. Well, almost. Okay. Ready to go then, I suppose. If we get separated, I'll meet you there.
Medicament dispensable. Task concluded for today. Please proceed to the lecture hall to request...
Perfection is perfect. Our paradigm is ironclad. Closer inspection.
Sequencing strategies.
Don't hurt him, please. The Sovereign isn't at his best right now. You're not here to harm him, are you? If so, I must warn you, I will defend the Sovereign to the fullest extent of my meager abilities. Yes, it is. Our beneficent, infallible ruler, the Sovereign Henry Aloysius Varick, son of the first Sovereign, Reuben Varick. You'll have to forgive him right now. As I said, he is not his best today. We've been here since it was determined that the Sovereign, long distraught over the loss of his family, was in need of mental refreshment. Since then, he has been receiving dedicated treatment from head refresher Gould himself. Well, after his first session, the Sovereign was notably upset, launched into hysteric fits of paranoid ranting. Absurd nonsense about how the consul had betrayed him and seized power. For his own good, he had to be gently but firmly restrained. That all stopped after his next dip into the lathe, thank law. He's remained quite peaceful since. I'm certain he'll be back to his old self in no time. Preposterous! The consul and all the vigilant are above reproach. No subject of the Protectorate would ever harm, or knowingly allow harm to befall our beneficent ruler, the Sovereign, or consider such a thing. To even think such a thought is unthinkable. This stately form before you is the direct descendant of the matriarch herself. All we have, all any of us have, stems directly from the works of his family line. I will stay true to him and the Protectorate to the end. We all will. The Sovereign is receiving the finest possible care as he has every day of his life. Treatment outside the Protectorate is barbaric by comparison. Our system is perfect. Just leave us be.
exception. The tunnel out was right here. Oh, they put a poster over it. Take it down? This is all right neighborly of you. Can't thank you. Oh, and last I heard from my daughter, Emily, she was off to Free Market Station. You meet us there. She'll surely give you a reward. Guess all outsiders aren't as bad as Prudence makes you out to be.
Your performance at that facility went exceedingly well, all things considered, and it was an ideal first step in effecting my monopolistic mercantile methodology plan.
There you go again, pinning your career to that flim-flam mathematical malarkey. What do a bunch of eggheads know about marketing? Marketing isn't some rigmarole you can plug into a computronic doodad. It's instinct, intuition, know-how. It's a fucking art. Damn right. Of course. We're Auntie's choice. We know what motivates people better than they do. Real marketing is gut-driven. It's not something you think about. It's something you feel. That is, convince someone to feel.
Yes, suppose we should move on. Ursula, will you do the honors?
I'm the head of our proprietary insight acquisition division. Stealing our rivals' trade secrets? That's our bread and butter. We can sometimes lack a certain subtlety, though. The Protectorate have a process called mental refreshment. Some kind of mind manipulation business. There's a facility for it on Praetor. Auntie wants details on their methodology, pharmacology, and technology. This archive plan says it's important? Fine. Auntie and I agree it presents possibilities. Oh, do tell. I hope you gathered supplemental materials and recruited the scientist as well.
Of course you did, my most trusted ameliorator. You never fail to amaze and impress.
Head Refresher Gould will fit right in, surely. Now, I assume you won't mind we have a few questions about the process. Our people will extract details about the pharmacology and methodology, and that will all no doubt prove useful, but we're most interested in the technology and its results. Can't say I like the sound of that. Seems like they'd be difficult to market to.
How truly unfortunate. Those without desire or drive make terrible customers. They can barely even be considered consumers at all.
What else can you tell us about the place? Turn up any additional details? Anything especially marketable? That's certainly interesting. Intriguing, even. What else? Oh, good to know, good to know. But still, they keep on marketing it as virtually foolproof, don't they? So much for their vaunted moral high ground, and so much for us exploiting that piece of technology. Excellent. Well, here's your reward, along with something extra for your effort. And more for converting Head Refresher Goulds to the joys of commerce. All right. For your next assignment, well, it's something of an organizational priority.
Congratulations! Your storied success has earned you a whole entire minute with our illustrious leader, Auntie Cleo!
So your preliminary chores are complete? Oh, finally a contractor with a little backbone. Normally they flee or expire, leaving the work woefully incomplete. Ah, I remember you from before. Fairfield, yes? Tell me, as an outside agent, do you have any quandaries working with our organization? We do tend to forge ahead, yes. Free enterprise moves freely. So many ways to grease the wheels. Do hope you'll forgive these two. They're competing for a rather significant promotion, you see. It tends to make employees fractious, like young ursopods cooped up in the den. So, you've been advancing a fairly radical idea with a group that, to date, we've considered our rivals. I received a most curious transmission from Ruth Bassar, presiding bishop of the order, proposing we discuss the prospect of our groups working together. She stated this was your idea. A cessation of hostilities could present any number of potentially profitable options, assuming we could work out favorable terms. Are you sure you'd rather pursue this over your current exclusive contract with us? Before I contact Ruth, I want to be 110% certain. Fine. I'll initiate a call with Ruth through a secure line in the conference room next door. Let's pick this up there. Don't keep me waiting.